Most of us are fond of watching movies involving sirens. Sirens are half birds, half beautiful maidens. They have the power to draw men to them through their song. Sirens are believed to be dangerous creatures in some stories, like in Greek mythology. Curious enough to know what the real characteristics and behavior of sirens? In this video, we'll dig on the characteristics and where does sirens originate. You will also find out how these sirens use their power to kill sailors. A siren is a hybrid creature having the body of a bird and the head of a human in Greek mythology. Sirens have long been thought to be feminine. However, similar creatures with beards can be classified as either sirens or daemons. Sirens are dangerous creatures that reside on rocky islands and use their seductive singing to lure seafarers to their deaths. Sirens may kill in a variety of ways. Sailors are lured to visit them because of their haunting melody and attractive appearance. The sailors will dive into the ocean to pursue the siren, only to be dragged to the bottom of the sea or eaten by the sirens. Sirens were often used as a symbol for the dangerous temptation symbolized by women in Christian art of the medieval times. By the Hellenistic period, Greek images of sirens approximated the contemporary picture of mermaids as beautiful fish-tailed ladies, although the bird-like figures may still be found in art until the Byzantine period. The sirens are described as aquatic animals in a 9th century Byzantine Greek book, but as feathered beings in a 10th century Suda. The sirens of Greek mythology are also shown with a fish's tail rather than birds' legs in medieval Christian bestiaries. Many characteristics of ancient Greek sirens, such as their seductive and destructive temperament, were transmitted to mermaid beliefs throughout Europe. Mermaids were thought to have their own lovely song that might lead sailors to their doom in legend throughout Europe. The first known mermaid legends are from Assyria and date back to 1000 BC. They relate the story of the goddess Atargatis, who fell in love with a mortal man. Tragically, she accidentally killed her partner and plunged into a lake, disguising herself as a fish in order to atone for her misdeeds. Despite her attempts, the seas were unable to conceal her exquisite beauty, and she preserved her human shape from the waist up while retaining her fishtail. According to Hellenized Syrian writer Lucian of Samosata, this story led to a stigma associated to eating fish in the region, since many believed the goddess could take the appearance of a fish. The Greeks referred to the mermaid goddess Atargatis as Turcato. Her metamorphosis and narrative may have had an impact on subsequent Greek portrayals of sirens as fish-tailed. Pliny the Elder, a Roman historian who lived in the 1st century AD, said that there had been several sightings of mermaids along the coast of Gaul. According to the ancient source, the governor of Gaul even wrote to Emperor Augustus about the problem, since several bodies of mermaids totally coated in scales had washed up along the coast. The sirens of Greek mythology initially appeared in Homer's Odyssey, where Homer provided no bodily descriptions and let the reader's imagination to fill in the gaps. Apollonius of Rhodes depicted the sirens in Argonautica as being part lady and part bird. Sirens were frequently represented in art as human-headed birds from the 7th century BC. They were fated to perish if anybody survived their song, since they were the daughters of the river god Achelous and a muse. They hurled themselves into the water when Odysseus passed them by unarmed. The sirens' effort to entice Odysseus and his men as they passed on their way home to Ithaca after the Trojan War is one of their most famous myths. The famous Greek warrior was already well known for his quick brains and cunning, and he proved to be a considerably more difficult capture than the siren's normal prey. Circe advised the hero to tie himself to his ship's mast so that he might hear the siren's lovely song without being enticed to land, while the rest of his crew was rendered immune by plugging their ears with wax, and they all safely sailed on out of harm's way. To avoid confusion, let me give you a background of what really happened on the journey of Odysseus. Sirens first appear in the literary record in the Odyssey, which was written about 750 BCE in a chapter that is considerably shorter than you'd assume given the cultural importance of these magical singing animals. Odysseus, after being warned by the enchantress Circe of the danger posed by the siren's music, advises his men to plug their ears with wax. But being inquisitive to a fault, He gets himself chained to the ship's mast, so he may listen without falling into the water. The Sirens promise him tales of all that happened during the conflict at Troy and elsewhere. Entranced, he begs his comrades to free him. He yells, raves, and threatens, but it's all for naught. His crew continues sailing until the melody fades in the distance, thus saving his life. It was anticipated that the Sirens would perish if any mortal heard them sing and lived to tell the tale. So once Odysseus passed them uninjured, disappointed by their humiliating loss, the Sirens threw themselves into the sea and never disturbed anybody again. The Sirens, according to Homer, dwelt on an island between Scylla and Charybdis, which was historically located in the Strait of Messina between Italy and Sicily. They waited for passing ships and tempted sailors to their doom with their wonderful song. Indeed, the Sirens' home island's meadows were thought to be continually piled with the decaying bodies of their unlucky victims. Homer only mentions 2 Sirens, although subsequent writers frequently depict 3. Their ancestors are variably described as Gaia, Phorcys, Achelous, and Stero, or one of the Muses. The Sirens were hybrid beings with the body of a bird and the head of a woman, as well as human arms at times. According to one legend, they were Persephone's friends who, after failing to prevent her rape, were changed into Sirens as punishment. Historically, the creature is of Eastern origin and arrived in Greece during the time of Greek art's Orientalizing. The Sirens were talented lyre musicians and had wonderful singing voices. Their musical prowess was so amazing that it was stated they could even quiet the winds. Perhaps overconfident in their abilities, the Sirens once challenged the Muses to a musical competition but were defeated. Sirens are the dark, edgy mermaid sisters. Sirens are marine animals that are thought to be wicked. They are usually shown as lovely ladies with fish tails, but they may also be terrifying, humanoid beasts with keen fangs for ripping apart humans. Sirens appear frequently in literature, mythology, art, and culture, since the human race is fascinated by tales of the terrible, fascinating animals. Many doubts have been raised about the concept of sirens. Sirens are less well known than mermaids due to their enigmatic nature. There is some knowledge about sirens that may be gleaned through stories, shows, movies, and mythology. The question here is, are sirens real? There is no evidence to support the existence of sirens. Sirens are legendary and mythical creatures. Sirens are characters from Greek mythology. There have been stories of siren-like animals, but no concrete evidence to back up these assertions. There have also been other frauds involving alleged siren or mermaid bodies, all of which have been discredited. The mockumentary Mermaids. The body found tells the story of mermaids that resemble malevolent monsters such as sirens. The clip, however, is entirely fabricated. Sirens are unlikely to exist. There have only been reports of mermaids, and the majority of them are thought to be manatees mistaken for mermaids. People believe that sirens do exist, but in reality, it is all in the people's mind or imagination. It is because of the things they read or watch on the television. Do you also believe that sirens do exist? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We'll see you on the next video.